And you will see a hole on page 52 to 53, running up to 54, of people who were, who lost their property, which were seized by others. And then at page 55, you see destruction of properties by Boko Haram. So, a lot of things happen around this area in relation to the right to own movable and immovable property. Our definition of human rights is broad. We did not limit ourselves to civil and political rights alone. We went into economic and social rights. We dedicated this chapter to education. We took samples of them. Health, adequate food, as three main core economic and social rights which came under siege during the insurgency. Of course, education. We are told that Western education is safe. So the insurgents paid no effort in trying to live through to that level. Schools were targeted, students and pupils were abducted, those that are lucky, abducted. Some were actually killed. Places were bombed. So, education came under severe threat. And the report of the UN Secretary General on Children in Armed Conflict in Nigeria also indicated this. Teachers were also targeted. Of course, school enrollment fell. You know that if you look at the education indicators in the whole of the country, even before the insurgency, the indicators in the northeast are a little bit below the average you get elsewhere. So this was a very fairly bad situation which was complicated by the insurgency. At page 59, you see the destruction of primary and secondary schools and their facilities in Adamawa, the kind of things that were destroyed, and which will give you an indication of the quantum of resources that will be needed if you want to return them to normal. Of course, in Adamawa State at some point, they attacked the university, and the university had to close down. And then you find a situation where the state was no longer able to provide education. Churches, missions had to come in, and international donor agencies, to ensure that the situation did not deteriorate further. But of course, if you look at the statistics presented on page 61, you see that the student-teacher ratio and the conditions under which learning was going on is not the type that will give us the best in terms of education quality. It's more or less trying to say, let's make the best out of the situation we find ourselves. Under the right to adequate housing, of course, I mentioned earlier that both public and private housing were targeted and destroyed. But the condition under which the IDPs lived, in many instances, was so pathetic, because the housing cannot in any way be described as adequate. If you look at what the United Nations has defined as the 7 functional parameters of the right to adequate housing, you talk about the habitability of the home in terms of the health conditions around where human beings are living. Because it's been stated that housing is the most important environmental factor in epidemiological analysis that contributes to whether people get ill or not. You also look at the facilities around the housing, whether you have toilet facilities, water, electricity could now become a luxury if you have to preserve food and things. Of course, you look at the location of the housing, and you look at the kind of tenure they enjoy. By all parameters, The IDPs lived under conditions that nobody can be happy to live. Under the right to adequate food, many of the IDP camps did not receive the quantum of food necessary to keep body and soul together. Although a few that were run by those state actors look good enough, charity. But even from the report we saw, official report of the Senate, the famous grass cutting report, we have stories. We had confirmed information about how many lorries or trailers that were loaded with grains left a certain location and never got to where they were supposed to get to. Beyond the Senate report, there were reports from other sources. So, the state did not make adequate provisions for the right of these IDPs to get adequate and nutritious food to keep body and soul together. And there are clear examples where even the little that was made available was mismanaged by those who were entrusted in positions of power and authority to get it across to them.